Hi everyone, my name is Victor. Welcome back to NK Fit Club. So last time we talked about hip mobility, and today we'll be working on some core exercises in the yoga practice, and hopefully that will lead up to some arm balances. Now it's important that you would have done some hip mobility poses first, because otherwise without the hip mobility it will be quite hard to do some of the poses that we'll be doing today. So without further ado, let's start with tabletop position. So we're going to start with cat-cow. Okay, check that your shoulders are above the wrists and hip bones over the knees. Tuck the toes down. Some teachers will tell you to keep the feet flat, but I am a big fan of toes tucking down. So take a deep inhale, arching down, look up into cow pose, and then exhale, arch up, cat pose, chin to chest. Continue, inhale, arch down, look up, cow, and then exhale, arch up, cat pose, chin to chest. Inhale and exhale a few more times at your own pace. And I'll explain why tucking the toes down would be good, because you can actually grip more into the ground, giving you a lot more stability and groundedness as you do a lot of these yoga poses, and it helps you engage your legs even more. Last cat-cow. Inhale, cow pose, and then exhale, arch up, cat pose, chin to chest. This time stay in cat pose. Push the hands down a lot more. Make your upper back into a big dome shape. Push the floor away from you for 3. Remember how this feels. 2 and 1. Inhale, come back into cow pose, arching down as a counter stretch. Exhale, back to cat pose, like a cat stretching. Push the hands down a lot. Make the upper back round, like a dome shape, and see if you can push more and round your upper back even more. Sometimes I call it an angry cat pose. Now, keeping the angry cat pose, take a deep inhale again. Push the toes down and lift the knees just 1 inch off the ground without changing the shape of the spine, without changing the angry cat. For 3, I'm finding it's very hard to speak now. 2 and 1. Knees back down. Inhale, arch down, look up, cow, and then sit on your heels, shake your wrists. Okay, now remember how that angry cat pose felt, also with the knees up. Okay, we'll be coming back to that later, but then let's repeat one more time. Inhale, arch down, look up, cow. Exhale, arch up, cat, angry cat, and knees up, angry cat. Push the toes down firmly. Yeah, try not to lift the knees too high up, otherwise you're using your legs rather than your core. For 3, upper back is round. 2 and 1. Slowly release, shake your wrists. Good. Now remember how that felt. As I mentioned, it's very important. We call it compression of the upper body, which will help us in a lot of the poses later. Now walk the hands forward, shoulders on top of the wrist. Round the upper back into angry cat. Step your feet back into plank pose with an angry cat on the top. So try not to sink the chest down. Push firmly. Yeah, puff up the shoulders. Keep breathing for 5. Turn your tailbone down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Kneel back down. Shake your wrists. Repeat. On the next round, same. But if you want to see some bad examples, you can have a look at the video. Sometimes you see people do this. Try not to do that. You should turn your tailbone down, upper back round, suck the belly in. Keep breathing for 5, 4, 3. If you arch your lower back down, that will actually hurt your lower back, so try to avoid that. And slowly release. Shake your wrists. Come into a malasana, into a yogic squat. We covered that in the last video. So you turn your toes out, heels in, hands to heart center. If you speak and read Chinese, your feet will be in that Chinese character number 8 shape. 八字脚. Chest up. Each inhalation, push and lift the chest higher. Each exhalation, push your knees a little bit wider. And remember, if you have tighter hips or ankles, and if your heels can't touch the floor, you will put the blocks underneath the heels. Okay, each inhalation lengthen, each exhale push the knees wide. Sucking your belly in for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Good. Now you may put the blocks aside and come into a squat. Okay, so which we are already in, but this time instead of chest up, I want you to round your chest so you can squat really low. See if you can bring your knees as far high up into your armpits as you can. And you should be able to bring your hands down to the floor like this. Now, even if your heels don't touch the floor, you should still be able to perform the next moves. Okay, now palms planting down to the ground. I want you to bend the elbows a little bit. So as I bend the elbows, my elbows are pointing out, right? But now turn the elbows in so that the elbows are pointing back. If your hips are not as, open as mine, that's okay. Your knees are probably in this position, which should still work. As long as your knees are somewhere between your elbows and your armpit, that will do. Okay, so hands on the ground, round your back, elbows in. And then now, with that, rounding your back like you're doing crazy cat pose, angry cat pose, lean your weight forward, suck the belly in, keep your toes on the ground, push the floor away from you, and then slowly release. Shake your wrists. Okay, again, hands to the floor, rounding your back, angry cat, spread your fingers wide and grip the floor with the fingertip. Lean forward, suck the belly in, keep the toes on the ground, and then slowly release. See where we're going? Eventually, the feet will be off the ground, but let's not worry about that yet. We'll do this one more time. Hands on the floor, round your back, suck the belly in, elbows pointing back. 5, 4, see if you can keep your toes light. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Shake your wrists. So today we, as I mentioned earlier, we'll be talking about a lot of core strength, a lot of the, arm balancing, and crow pose will be one of the most representative poses in yoga for that matter. Now, but then let's not worry about keeping the feet up or holding that pose yet, but let's play again. Hands on the floor, arms are bent, slightly bent, rounding your back, lean forward, and then down. So see, I keep my hands forward, not too close to the feet. Okay, rounding the back, heels up, lean forward, feet off momentarily, come back down, and then squat again. Keep your knees touching the upper arms or the armpit at all times, as much as you can. Hands on the floor, lean forward, feet up and down. Hands forward, hips up, lean forward and down. Basically walking to the front of the mat. One more time, because I'm out of mat now. Wait, and then down. Then turn. See if you can turn without losing that connection between the armpits and the knees. Hands on the floor, lean forward, up and down. Hands forward, lean forward, heels up and down. 2 more times, I think. Forward and down. Last one. Forward, round the back and down. Okay. Take a short break there. Hands shake. So the actual crow pose looks a bit like this. Lean forward, arms slightly bent. So before you can hold it like that, see how many times you can kind of roll back and roll forward like that, okay? Like we did earlier. But you might think, okay, well, you can't still do it on your own or hold the feet up, but that's okay. That's why we will use 2 yoga blocks. If you don't have yoga blocks, you can use a small stool or maybe a firm pillow or cushion in front of you. If you're using the blocks, you should stack up the blocks in this manner. So 1 flat and 1 in the medium height, and place the hands behind the blocks. So arm balancing, it's all about shifting the body weight, and what we did earlier was to shift the body weight from back to front. You must keep the hands behind the blocks, not next to the blocks, but behind, because if I shift the body weight forward with the hands next to the blocks, when I shift forward, there won't be any blocks to support me. So with the hands here, knees up into the armpits, just like the game that we played earlier, you shift forward enough your head will rest on the blocks. To lift the feet higher, simply bend the knees more. Squeeze the elbows in, your arms in. See if you can maintain the upper back round into angry cat pose shape for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. That was crow pose. I'm sure you've seen this on Instagram, on the internet, on your yoga books many times. Shake your wrists. We'll do this one more time, actually a few more times. Hands on the floor, round your back, forward, head down. Now, feel free to just stay here, but if this is easy enough for you, see if you can push the floor a bit more with the hands and then lift the head up just a little bit, away from the blocks. Keep the belly sucked in for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Shake your wrists. We'll do this one more time, okay? Hands on the floor. Lean your weight forward, round your back, hug in, belly in, and then push down more to lift the head up, maybe a lot higher for 3. Keep the upper back round, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Shake your wrists. Okay? Now cross your fingers, roll your wrists as well. One way and then reverse. Now continue to practice this with the blocks if you're newer to yoga, but otherwise you can start to lower the platform so that you know if you do fall down, it's there, but you don't necessarily need that as a support. So lean forward, squeeze the elbows in, puff up the shoulders, angry cat. If you do fall, the blocks are there to catch you, but otherwise just stay up for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Good. Kneel down, sit on your heels, stretch your feet, and give them your hands a nice shake. All right, now put the blocks aside. So that was crow pose. I'm sure a lot of you have been trying to learn how to do that in a yoga class, probably not explained to you thoroughly. I hope that really helped, but let's move on to something else, okay? It will take a lot of time for you to maybe nail it one day, but if you keep rewatching this video or come back to this channel, I'm sure it will come to you. There's one more exercise I want you to try, okay? Come back to hands and knees, tabletop. Inhale, cow, and then exhale, cat. We've done this a million times already. Inhale, and then exhale. Now inhale again, okay? Left foot goes back, right arm goes up, left leg up, belly in. If you've been to any yoga classes before, I'm sure you've done this before as well. This is not too hard for 3, but I always way to make it harder for you too. And 1, slowly release, change side. Right foot goes back, left arm goes up, belly in for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Shake your wrists. Now here's the real challenge. I think this is actually harder than crow pose itself. I'm not sure if I can do it today, but let's see. So hands and knees on the floor, belly in. Okay, now right arm forward, left leg up. Now from there, push down into the right foot and the left hand, right knee up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That was really hard for me today at least. Shake your wrists. Let's try the other side. Maybe it will help with the upper back round. So let's see. So we have the other side. Right leg goes back, left arm goes forward, belly in, push down to the right hand and left foot, left toes for 5. This side's better for me, I think. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Shake your wrists. Rest in child's pose. So if your hips are sore or tight or tired, that's very normal. We did a lot of core work that comes out from the hips. So feel free to separate your knees. Even rest your forehead on your hands if that makes it feel more comfortable. And see if you can sink your hips into your heels. And if that's not happening, just separate your knees wider, but try to keep your feet together. Take a few more deep breaths. This is where we start to cool down. Feel that in each inhalation, your belly expands into the inner thighs. As you exhale, see if you can sink down a bit more. Come back to hands and knees. One last twist to close the practice. So inhale, raise your right arm up. Exhale, twist to the left hand side. Thread your right arm underneath the armpit. Head on the ground. Press your left hand down firmly. Feel free to stay here. If you want to go slightly deeper, straighten your left leg. Turn your head to the sky. For 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release to the other side. Left arm up, inhale. Exhale to the right hand side. Okay, feel free to stay. All right, leg goes back. Turn a little bit more into the sky. For 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Come back to a kneeling position. This time feet flat on the ground. Stretch your ankles. Rest your hands on the thighs. Sitting your chest up, shoulders relaxed, face relaxed. Bring your focus back to your breathing. Relax your face, relax your jaws. Notice how you feel right now, or perhaps how your arms, your core feel after all this preparation to crow pose and some variations. Now bring your hands together in front of the heart center. Thumbs to third eye, in between the eyebrows. Thank you so much for watching us. My name is Victor, and we will see you next time at NK Fit Club. Thank you. Bye-bye.